What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, guys, how's everybody doing? It's Thursday. Today's content, guys, is going to revolve around kind of this idea of keys to victory or previewing this matchup between the two teams. I've been covering this quite extensively. You can argue this entire week has basically been keys to victory and film sessions, so this is going to kind of continue on with it. But I do think there are like five, I'd say at least five, like really particular points of this football game for the Eagles to win it. There are five areas where we have got to conquer this game, or I think we could be in trouble. However, I am confident. It is Thursday. So let's get to the preview, guys. All right, y'all. Roll the film.
Pressure right here. Get the ball out. Gets the ball out. Oh, well.
All right, guys, keys to victory, keys to victory. So, in that film that I just showed you, and I'll roll it again when I kind of get done here so you can see it again and see how it all plays out again. Basically, what you have is an 11-man personnel package from the New England Patriots, but they go empty backfield. And they do some interesting things from that. Number one, if you look to the offensive left, from what my eyes can see, and mind you, I'm not watching the 22, the all 22 on it, so it's a little harder because I don't have the camera angles to get some of the particulars on terms of the players. But at the top, I do know that it's James White. So you got James White to the top of the offensive left, split out. That's their running back. And then one of the receivers that's on the line of scrimmage, making that 7 players on the line of scrimmage, is Dorsett, it looks like to me. That's the one where I'm a little uncertain. Could be Slater, but I think it's a Dorsett, just given what I know about the Patriots. And then if you look to the offensive right, bottom of the screen, top of the screen, depending on your perspective, but offensive right, you have on the inside part there in the slot, you have like the tight slot, you have Sanu. The 7th player that's on the line of scrimmage there is Ben Watson, which is surprising because they put their tight end on the line. We do that sometimes with Ertz, though, as well. And then you have Julian Edelman all the way to the further side of the offensive right. They spread them out. They look and see what kind of coverage Cleveland's in, and then they attack the zone, get right to the sticks. This is what we got to be careful of, is really, really paying attention and winning the third down battle here today. I'm going to run that again. I'm going to talk about third down battle with this team.
Pressure right here. Get the ball out. Gets the ball out. Oh, well.
All right, guys, to begin with, here's what I'll say. When I refer to third down, just understand I realize that was a fourth down play, and I understand that, or understand I'm referring to third or fourth down, those downs that get our defense off the field. So if they're going for it on fourth down, is basically reverting into the conversation we're having currently. It's the idea of getting this defense off the football field. Okay, stopping Brady on third down, why it's key. Number one, Brady's been kind of, their offense, I'm telling you guys, you're going to be surprised at how pitiful their offense really is. It's not as good as people think. If you look at that Cleveland game, I'll tell you what, and this is going into one of the keys. If they weren't turning the Browns over the way they were turning the Browns over, they would have gotten their asses stomped by Cleveland in that game. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Chubb was finding daylight all day against them. So, look, turnovers are part of the game. This team turns people over. We're going to get into that, but I got to tell you, man, offensively, bro, they only put up was like 23 points, and they should have easily put up 40 points with as many turnovers, the field position they had. Like, it wasn't a good performance. And this is what I'm going to say about third down. Okay? Third down and Brady, to show you just how subpar he's been, where he just avoids the argument. Because in my opinion, a good quarterback has a high third down conversion rate. Okay. Now I understand that Brady is a good quarterback no matter what his percentage says, but this is certainly Brady on the downside of his career. This is Brady without certain weapons now we're seeing in this particular point in his career where he's not going to be what he once was. And it's quite obvious when you look in the numbers. 16 of 32 on third down conversions. 16 out of 32 teams. Not 16 out of 32. 16 out of 32 teams. Dead smack in the middle. Tom Brady. Guys, let me repeat that for you. Tom Brady, past the halfway point of the 2019 season, is in the middle of the pack at third down conversions. Do we really need to talk anymore? I mean, I'm sorry, man. I think Brady's last hurrah was in that Super Bowl 52 game against the Eagles. And it was a masterpiece by Brady. But I think it's gone, man. I think, guys get to that point in their career to where the magic goes away. And I think we're starting to witness that with Brady. And I know that's controversial. I'm not saying Brady still can't play. He's still better than most of the majority of quarterbacks in the league, but he's not that special player anymore. All right. Long story short, guys, on third down, and you want to put it on the fourth down, whatever, they haven't been good, okay? But I will add this caveat here about don't go into this game thinking, oh, it's Brady. He's on the downward, projection for his career, and they just haven't been good at third down conversions. I think that's the end of the story. One thing I will say, and I will caution people with, is understand is this New England team is getting healthier. So they're getting back players like N'Keal Harry. Okay, N'Keal Harry getting back into this football game might give them a bigger target for those intermediate short down kind of distance throwing because the Patriots are not huge on running the ball on third down at all. If you get them into a 31, they'll go 22 man on you. If you get them down in the goal line, stuff like that, they'll go 22 man on you. But that's not the strength of their football team. It's not what they try to do. So you get a guy like N'Keal Harry who's 6'4", 225 poundish. I mean, I can understand why they feel confident with this kid coming back. The other player is Ryan Izzo, their tight end. I think him along with Ben Watson makes for a pretty dynamic tight end group. So understand that is part of the conversation here, okay? All right, let's move into the second point, okay?
Cleveland's only allowed 1 out of 26 first downs on a 3rd and 10 or longer. And that's not a...
Continuing along our point about third down, guys. If we're going to get this defense off the field, if we're going to keep Brady in the middle of the pack, even sink him down even further and keep his progression going down, we've got to really pay attention on third downs to James White. We all know everyone's going to come out here as a content creator is going to tell you Julian Edelman. Yes, Julian Edelman, of course you can't just let him run free. But I'm telling you, when it comes to third down conversions, the player they're looking to on most downs is James White. And they'll put him in the backfield like that. The play before that on the fourth down, I showed you he was split out as a receiver, basically. Like, we've got to be really careful about what they're doing with this kid. We got to pay real close attention to wide receiver screens. We got to watch this kid because he can run routes. He's got a decent route tree. I mean, this is a guy that we've got to key in on. You cannot let this guy run around and do whatever he wants to do. And we knew this even going into the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 52. We were so concerned. If you go back and you watch the Eagles film segment from yesterday, they even pointed out that in the Super Bowl, we literally took Malcolm Jenkins to lock up on James White to make sure this crap didn't happen. We might have to do the same thing, guys. Find a safety or a corner and lock him on James White on these third down plays. I also think that we've got to bring pressure on third down. In addition to paying attention to Edelman, in addition to paying attention to James White, I think we got to bring pressure and speed Tom Brady up, force him into a mistake. And I think we do have the team to do that.
Allen from the pocket.
Third key to victory here. The Eagles have got to play very sound defense. So in the clip I just showed you, and I'm going to do a little before and after, that was week 8 against Buffalo. We're not talking that long ago, guys. And you can see on that particular play, that is the big nickel. So big nickel, what it refers to is basically when you're breaking down your defensive backs that you're putting on the field, okay? When you're breaking down whether you're going with 5 or 6 defensive backs, you're basically talking about having 3 safeties on the field. In that particular alignment, we had a deep safety, which is he's not even pictured. He's not one of the 10 football players pictured. Your deep safety all the way back is Rodney McLeod. So you got a cover 1 concept, okay? And then you have on the defensive left, offensive right, you have Sendejo. Also crowding the line of scrimmage on the defensive left, offensive right, we have Malcolm Jenkins, who's then going to drop back into a zone coverage scheme. And then if you go to the defensive right, then you'll start seeing the rest of the Eagles football players there. You have Sidney Jones in the slot. You got Darby on the outside, all the way on the top side over there. I think that was Jalen Mills. So Jalen Mills is there at that point. So you have all these defensive backs coming into play, right? You saw the pressure get there. We had TJ Edwards up on the line of scrimmage who drops back into his zone, right? We have Brandon Graham inside playing as a defensive tackle to get a pass rush. I think it was Josh Sweat on the outside, on the defensive left on the outside there. Barnett is in a standing up pass rushing position on the defensive right. So you guys get it. I mean, that's the big nickel. Now, when I flip this over, I'm going to show you what we did in Chicago. I want you guys to see the difference here. We're switching to a slightly different concept. I'm going to get into that being a key to the game.
For the Bears. And Trubisky.
So what we see there is a very, very similar scheme. It's cover one, man-to-man, basically, with some zone concept. There's a little underneath zone there, but it's mostly man-to-man across the board. And what you have there is a substitution of now Sendejo is no longer on this football team, so Sendejo's out, and who came in his place? Russell Douglas. This is where the Eagles are hard to game plan for because you can make an argument either way with what we're playing. Someone can say that's the big nickel. You go back to the Buffalo game, that's the big nickel. Or someone can say, no, those are both dimes. Those are both times you're playing 6 defensive backs on the field. And both of those people are technically correct. In the true technicality of it, is it a dime coverage with 6 defensive backs? Absolutely. However, when you get into the particulars of the utilization of personnel within defensive packages and how the Eagles like to use people, we're talking about basically actually being in a big nickel concept. Because what you're getting at is you're having Malcolm Jenkins basically play the role of the second linebacker. You know that because of the way that he covers, the way he drops it back into his zone. Like he's playing the role of the second linebacker. He's not playing the role of basically being another safety out there per se. So this is a confusing defense. And there's another key to this, guys, that I wanted to break down. All right. It's still underneath this token of this third key, if you will, or whatever we're on. It's this idea of not only in that Chicago game did we do a good job of mixing up coverage schemes, and I think Schwartz has been doing a hell of a job this year doing that. For all the criticism we've given Schwartz over the years, this year, I got to give him props because he's shaking shit up. He's changing things up. He's getting harder and harder to predict in these coverage schemes. He's giving you looks pre-snap that aren't the same post-snap. That's important. One of the other keys to this, guys, simply put, is A and B gap pressure. You saw that was a long stunt coming around. It came right through the A gap. So Trubisky couldn't step up in the pocket. He tries to go right or left. I can't remember which way he tried to go, guys, but you know what I'm saying. He tried to go to the offensive left, defensive right, and he stumbles up and gets sacked. Beautiful play design. This is what needs to happen to Brady, and Brady is nowhere near as mobile as Trubisky. So not allowing Brady, getting A and B gap pressure on Brady where he can't step up in the pocket, huge deal. Huge deal, guys. Huge deal, huge key.
Now first down at the 28-yard line, and here's Jordan Howard gets an opening. And
did any of you guys grow up in a household with a lot of brothers? Did you guys ever play the game Monkey in the Middle? You know, just a way of completely teasing one of your younger brothers with maybe some of your older brothers. We did that a lot in my household. My fourth key to the game here, we need to play monkey in the middle with Tom Brady. Keep the damn ball out of his hands. My fourth key, simply put, is time of possession. We must win the battle of possession. We touched the ball, 1 o'clock on Sunday? Brady shouldn't touch it until, I don't know, Wednesday, the following Wednesday when they go back to practice. We got to win time of possession, guys. Simply put, how do you win time of possession? You take the fight out of a team. You run Jordan Howard. You make them have to, when they're breathing heavy, then chase around Miles Sanders. When they start selling out to stop the run, because let me tell you, this New England defense is to be had in the running game. When they start selling out trying to stop the run, then you make them regret it because now Bill Belichick can't blanket Zach Ertz. Make them pay for it. That's huge key here, guys. Howard, Sanders, Howard, Sanders, Howard. By this point, we should be up almost 50-0 because they're helpless to stop the run. I've watched much lesser backs this year absolutely gash New England. If we feed this running game, this game is over from the first time Howard touches the ball. They cannot stop the run, guys. There's two things in particular this defense that we're playing does really well. Stopping the run is not one of them. They're really really good. I mean, stupidly good at playing the pass, going man to man on you. This is a man concept defense. Okay? Come beat us. Let your skill position players beat our defensive backs. They're also really good at the fifth key. And I'm going to show you.
They do it perfectly. Here's the toss to Chubb. He cuts back.
Hi, guys. I hate to interrupt this scheduled, clip I'm showing you, but I just want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine this is Miles Sanders ripping through that defense. Missed tackle after missed tackle. And we're all feeling good. What does Miles Sanders have a knock for doing in college? Watch this play.
Nice piece of running this time. And he's going into the secondary and down to the 10.
All right, guys. The fifth key to this football game, if you haven't figured that out yet, protect the football. We know the Bears are a very opportunistic football team. So are the Patriots, even more so this season. They lead the league in turnover margin by a mile, guys. It's not even close. They've damn near doubled the team that's second. We've got to be careful. Because like I said, this team can absolutely be had in the running game. You saw all those damn arm tackles and missed tackles they had, but you also saw that this particular group of players did not panic. And instead of just giving up and either letting him go into the end zone or tackling him down around the 10 or 5 yard line, they went right after the damn football. I'm telling you, we've got to protect this football against this team. We cannot turn the ball over. Because let me tell you, Cleveland should have beat that ass when they played the Patriots. Because that offense was anemic. Let me show you what kept happening in Cleveland and why they lost that football game.
Beckham at the top, Gilmore on him. Here's Chubb's first handle. Chubb,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, this defense is not going to quit. It is not going to stop. And I promise you, it is going to try to make us turn the ball over, either through the air or putting it on the ground. It is going to make a concerted effort at coming after that football. I promise you.
out of the gun. Oh, he tosses.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching. That's all I got for you guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And oh yeah, so question of the day. What key did I leave off? Did I leave a key off for you guys? You give me one of the keys that you think that maybe I didn't put on here. It's hard, guys. I'm trying to keep this to a condensed format, so I could spend a full hour on this, but I'm not going to because, I know you guys would watch about 10 minutes of it and be like, I'm done. All right. Let me know. What did I miss? What key do you think that, out of the ones that, if you don't think I missed anything, then what key do you think that needs to be highlighted more than the others that I presented here today? All right, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. And oh, yeah, EAGLES. Go get that victory Sunday, guys.